Preparation, they say, prevents poor performance, and the early bird gets the worms. It is never too early to begin to prepare for your ambition, for your dream of studying abroad. What do you need to know? How do you start your preparation for studying abroad? This is what this video is all about. Keep watching, and I hope you enjoy it. My first point in preparation for studying abroad will be to explore the web for information. The World Wide Web is filled with tons and lots of information as regarding scholarship opportunities, funding opportunities that are released every year by many institutions, companies, organizations, and foundations. Your first task will therefore be to identify what opportunity you want to pursue, your present course of study, and your future ambition, aspiration, and prospects would help a lot in streamlining the exact information you should search for. As you search the web, you must focus on the specific scholarship criteria, the application documents that are applicable to that scholarship, the closing date and the deadline, and possibly the testimonials of previous beneficiaries of that scholarship if it is available. Be on the lookout. I'll make a video on peculiar offers across different countries and continents soonest. Apart from grades, what other thing counts? Engage in extracurricular and volunteer activities. Grades are important, and so are extracurricular activities. You will need to find a few activities that you are passionate about and then pursue them to the highest level. Such activities, if they are relevant and point towards your interest and ambition, they will surely count in your consideration for selection when next you apply for a scholarship. Just like what I did as soon as I graduated from my first degree, I knew I wanted to be a researcher, I wanted to be a lecturer. I had to attach myself to one of my lecturers to undertake something like an internship where I learned the act of research. And from that process and from that short stay, about 1 year, I stayed with him. I was able to produce my first journal manuscript and 3 book chapters. A key benefit of participating in extracurricular activities or voluntary activities, volunteering, is that you are able to acquire some soft skills like leadership skills, teamwork, writing, research, and so on. And as you engage, if possible, obtain a letter of commendation or some sort of certificate as a proof of these activities to attach to your application. In the first point, when I talked about exploring the web for information and getting information on specific criteria for each scholarship, I also mentioned that if it is possible to get the testimonials of participating or successful previous applicants to that scholarship, which can be found on some of the websites, then get it. But if not, there are other ways to reach out to former beneficiary. And this takes me to the next point: inquire from past scholarship beneficiary. A lot of people have secured scholarships. A lot have gotten funding to study abroad. Find them, talk to them, ask them what they did, how they did it. But I will say, keep in mind that the good guys are always busy. And so when you send that email, you may not get an immediate response, or when you try to connect by social media, the response may not be so fast. You should patiently and persistently send reminders, gentle reminders, until you get a response. In fact, it shows that you are serious about your ambition and about your desire. Sometimes your cold emails, that is unsolicited emails, could end up in the spam box, and sending a gentle reminder after a short period of time could move those messages from the spam to the inbox, where it will get to the needed reply. So do not just send a single email and then give up because you didn't get a response. it must have been flagged as a spam email, because a lot of organizations are strict with emails that come from external sources, that is, emails outside their immediate organization. Networking has been made easy by social networking sites such as LinkedIn. Leverage these and other online tools. Personally, I still ask questions, I still connect with people on LinkedIn, ask them questions, hold virtual meetings, and I think you can do the same. Connect with people and learn. Learn the ropes, and you will find yourself at the top. My next point will be maintain a healthy relationship with your lecturers, your present lecturers, your past lecturers, and supervisors, because they will serve as your referees. Nearly all scholarship recommendations will expect you to submit academic or professional references. References are expected to be provided by people who are familiar with your studies, with your grades, with your academic or professional activities. And sometimes they are required to provide their recommendation directly to the university systems, and so you may not see or know what they feel and how they graded or what their recommendations were. And some other times they can provide you with these reference letters to upload directly into your application. So, but whatever be the case, you need to build a very healthy relationship with your lecturers so you could request these referee letters or recommendation letters from them at any point that you require them for your application. I have been asking you to look outwards. Look on the web, explore the information there, look out for scholarship holders, beneficiaries, listen to their stories, and then be at good relationship with your lecturers to receive very strong recommendation and commendable reference letter which would support your application for funding. But now I come to this point of preparation, which is unique to you. Prepare your story. Most scholarships would require you to describe your motivation for higher degrees, motivation for application to that scholarship, and it gives you the opportunity to share your story, the challenges you've been through, what motivates you, what drives you, and what pushes you to take such a big leap and big step in achieving your dreams and your career. And you should be prepared to tell this story in a concise way and in a compelling way to prove that you really deserve this scholarship to take you to the next level for your career and for your desire and for your ambition in life. And when you tell this story, there are two extremes you must avoid. Avoid exaggeration and avoid making up things. It has to be honest, it has to be sincere, and it has to be clear enough to prove that you are motivated to take the course and you fit the scholarship requirements. So this means you should be able to tell why you apply for the scholarship and why you should get it. How important it is for you to get this scholarship. That is what your story must tell. So viewers, that's it for this video. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification button to receive an alert as soon as I upload the next video. It will be worth your time. Thank you for watching, and bye. In my last video, I talked about exploring the web for information as the first step in preparing to study abroad. And the question is, how do I begin to search for this information on this wide web? Well, say no more. This video is made for you to see the popular destination of students, especially African students abroad. Where do they travel to? I believe that this popular destination of African students who travel overseas for their higher education will help you narrow down on your options as you begin to search for scholarships, fundings, and study abroad opportunities on the World Wide Web. To prepare this video, I have used data from Open Doors and UNESCO to show the global flow of tertiary level students from their places of origin in Africa to other destinations in the world. The Open Doors present a very straightforward data set of enrolled international students by their places of origin. And here you'll find listed African countries and number of enrolled students, international students, of course, who are enrolled in several universities across the United States. So you find Central Africa here, Eastern Africa, Southern African countries, West African countries, and then the rest of the world continues in that fashion. For the UNESCO website, it shows the both inflow and outflow of students from different countries. And for this video, I'm interested in the outflow of students from different African countries. I can choose from Northern Africa, which is the top. I can choose Egypt. And from Egypt, you can find the arrows going out of Egypt to different parts of the world. And if you scroll down, you will see the destination countries from Egypt. From Egypt, most of their students go to Saudi Arabia, then to Germany, and then the list continues in that way. And if we try out, oh, my scrolling took me to South Africa. And then from South Africa, students travel out to Cuba, which has the highest, followed by the United Kingdom, followed by Germany, and then the rest of the world in that order as it is listed here. You can explore this website for yourself to see if you are confused about where international students go. This is Nigeria, and then most students go to the United Kingdom. It has the highest number of students here according to their data, followed by Canada, then Malaysia, and then Ukraine, and South Africa, and Ghana, and Germany, and other countries. And you can do this for as many countries in Africa as possible. So this could give you a good feel in taking next steps in specific countries that you may come up with. From the data on these websites, I was able to produce this word cloud to show you the popular destination. So you see the text of these countries with the higher number of students are larger than those with the lower number of students. So you can see for yourself the countries here. So Germany, France, USA, and the UK. These are countries with the largest number of African students. Other prominent countries, as you can see here, include South Africa, Canada, Turkey, Ukraine, Saudi Arabia, Russian Federation, India, Italy, Spain, Malaysia, Ghana, Belgium, and the rest. Bravo! You now know the country you want to go and the universities you want to try to apply. The next is to act. Go ahead and apply with all the relevant documents. Watch out for my upcoming video where I'll discuss basic application documents for securing scholarships globally. Please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification button to get an alert as soon as I upload my next video. It will be worth your time. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. I'm interested in scholarships, but how can I find one? How can I get one? How do I start? What is the process? In this video, I show you 5 tips of how to win any scholarship. These are 5 top secrets on securing, on winning any scholarship at all in the world. My name is Emmanuel Eze, and I welcome you to Scholarship Gen. I'm happy to be your Scholarship Gen guide. Number one secret, streamline what you need. What is the course you want to do? In which universities are these courses found? And in which of the countries of the world are they found? When you're able to answer these three questions, then you have narrowed down exactly what you should build further searches upon. Now, it is necessary for me to mention that you should streamline to the course you need because courses abroad are captioned differently. They have different titles from what you may be familiar with back in your home country. And it is necessary to streamline the field you really want to focus on so that when you commence the search for the courses online, you'll be able to identify exactly what you're looking for when you find it. In the first step, I would advise you streamline to about, of course, it should be the same course or a similar course or in the same field, to 10, 15, or 20 universities across different countries of the world. This takes me to the next secret, the next step, the next tip, number two. Seek out the entry requirements of these courses. Seek them out. The entry requirements, the application requirements, and the things that are required of you. It is important to do so because there are some requirements you may not meet. For example, when I was searching for scholarship, I knew I did not want to write any standardized test. So any course, any university, any scholarship that requires me to have GRE, I marked an S. I cancelled it out. Again, I did not want to evaluate my transcript. And so any university that wanted me to conduct an evaluation of my transcripts or my degree, I ruled it out because I didn't want to go through those stress. So you need to streamline what you need, search out the entry requirements, and this number two steps in identifying the entry requirements will also help to narrow down again, weed off some other universities that you feel you cannot meet up with those application requirements. Number three, submit a very strong application. Each scholarship or program abroad would have a set of questions that they ask you to determine your personality, to determine your experiences, to determine your suitability for the course or for selection for funding. You need to ensure that you provide very strong, relatable, natural answers to these questions to be selected for the scholarship or for the program. Now, this means if you're talking about yourself, for example, you're making a statement and you say, I am a high achiever. No, you don't stop there. You can say, I am a high achiever. I have achieved excellent grades, maybe in percentage, 90% or 80%, or this CGPA or that CGPA or this result or that result in my previous study. That's better. Or if you want to say, I am resilient, you won't stop there. You can say, I did this and that despite this. This makes your storyline stronger, more relatable, and more acceptable in giving you exactly what you need. The next secret, number four, sit, pray, and wait. Submitting a scholarship on a deadline or before a deadline doesn't mean that one day, 2 days, or 1 week after the deadline, the results are out. It's a long process that takes a lot of board meetings, personal evaluation, board meetings, consultations, and deliberations before their choices are made. It takes time. So you have to sit, get engaged while you wait for the outcome of your application. Keep familiarizing yourself with the courses you have applied for. If there are skills that are required that you need to build, you keep building yourself, you keep developing yourself to ensure that when you succeed, you start off with the right footing. Number five, start again if you fail. Not every scholarship application is successful at the first or second attempt. If you fail, sometimes there are comments that are given, sometimes there are specific evaluations that you receive from those who have assessed your application. You can build on that to develop a better application next time. Remember, in step 4, I said develop yourself while you wait for the outcome. As you develop yourself, as you improve yourself, you discover that each application would be an improvement of the last. Each submission would have an improvement on the last. And as you continue in this way consistently, you will find that one of these days you're going to celebrate your successful scholarship acceptance. Congratulations in advance to you. That's all for this video. I wanted to keep it short, streamlined, to give you the top secret, my top secret of winning any scholarship. And I wish you the best in your future application. Go, apply, and succeed. Thank you. See you in the next video. Do you know date of birth, nationality, gender, state of origin, local government of origin, and all these other social demographic information that we include in our CVs are not required, are not necessary, and most times do not contribute to selection committee's decision to either admit you in an international program or select you as part of a scholarship recipient. What then are the contents of an academic CV? That is what this video is all about. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmanuel Eze. I'm your scholarship gen guide, and I'm happy to show you the elements of an academic CV that will give you the needed attention in your next graduate school application. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. Please click on the subscribe button and the notification button to get an alert as soon as I upload my upcoming videos. And my returning viewers, I thank you for the consistency and for the support, the likes, the comments, and the views that you've given to my videos, and the feedback so far showing that this content are really helpful. I'm grateful. Now to the video. Contents of an academic CV. Number one would be your contact information. Let me quickly say that there are different formats available, different formats that are displayed online, for different countries, for different contexts, for different, settings. But here we're talking about an academic CV. The first thing that must be, captured in your academic CV is your contact information, and this includes your name, your full name, which should be like the document title, formatted in bold and centralized, very pronounced, showing your full name. And following that should be your email address and contact number, and probably your location, the city and the town of the country where you are. It's not necessary to provide your full home address. And it can also include your research profiles. For example, you have a Google Scholar link or a ResearchGate link. It's a good place to place it within the contact information. Number two would be your research interests. This is the next in line. After your contact information, your research interest. What are your research interests? You have to capture this in probably bullet formats, or, a few lines of text, maximum of 50, 60, 70 lines, not so long, but very catchy. It's safer to put it in bullet format, bullet text, just short concepts that you are really interested in. And after this, you talk about your education. That is what comes next, and it should be captured in reverse chronological order. That is from the latest, from 2022 to 2021 to 2020. That's reverse chronological instead of from the other way around. And in your education, you do not need to talk about the crèche you attended, the daycare you attended, or the primary school you attended, and all of those stuff. If you're going for a master's degree, if you're applying, for a master's program, we only need to see your bachelor's degree here and the necessary elements below. If you're going for your PhD, of course, that's your bachelor's and your master's, degree, if you have the master's degree information. So education should be clearly presented in reverse chronological order. You must capture the full name of the degree. Is it a Bachelor of Science, or Bachelor of Education, or Bachelor of Technology, Master of Technology, and so on and so forth? You indicate that, and the duration, the starting and the ending year at least. And you can also include currently ongoing studies. If you're in your final year, You can put it there, you can put your starting date and you say to ongoing or to present, something like that, should be captured. And also within that, don't just put, University of Nigeria Nsukka, Bachelor of Science degree in philosophy, and then 2010 to 2016, and run off. You must indicate the key components of that studies. What were the modules, interesting modules that you took, especially those that are related to the course you are applying presently. And also, you should include your project title, your thesis title. You should include that. And you should include possibility, probably if there are honors that you took, some awards that you won, some prizes that you received, you should indicate these. And if there are also important, notable academic achievement within that period of study, within that education, it is necessary to capture, to present this, in short and straightforward bullet points. It is also necessary to include honors, awards, prizes, academic achievements, maybe volunteering that you've done within the period of that education as well, or leadership positions you've held within the period of that education. It's good to capture all of that at once, within that section to to portray the activities you've been engaged in, academic and maybe extracurricular within that period. The next section should be your research, your teaching and work experience, where it is required that graduate students have research, teaching, or work experience. If you have any of these, it is good for you to indicate them in this section called research, teaching, and work experiences. Now, most students should undertake at least one or two internships during their undergraduate studies or during their postgraduate studies. These internships may not be conventional, may not be recommended within the course as curricular activities. They may be voluntary internships, they may be extracurricular internships, but it is good that students take these. And this is where they come under as your work experience. And also, beside this, teaching experiences you had, if any, should be captured, as well as research experiences such as serving as a research assistant, a data collector, a survey assistant, a focus group discussion facilitator, or whatever research role you have played in the lab, in the field, or wherever. These are things that should be captured here to show what expertise you have in terms of research, in terms of teaching, and also as work experiences. Now, beyond this, it's also necessary to capture your other skills, relevant skills and experience that relates to the course. Possibly in your course, there is in your field, there are technical skills like software, specific software that are commonly used. It is good to specify those software that you know are helpful, or field related skills, field specific skills, handling of equipment or different things that are related to your field. As much as you have, indicate them. Also, language skills matter a lot. If you have language skills in ABC language, indicate them under relevant skills and experience. Also, publications and conferences becomes the next section, a section that is important to exhibit what publications you have had, or what conferences you have presented in, or what conferences you have even attended. This is the section to capture it. Capture it, let it be, contained, present it under the section publications and conferences. Again, there should be a section for professional memberships. If you're a professional member, a student member of your association, organization, association, professional association, it is good to indicate these as a way to show that you are connected to the community of your field of study. And then your references, your referees can also be brought in here. Although most times these referees, except you are asked to provide information of the referees within your CVs, you can indicate that they are available under request, or you can also indicate them there their names, their full titles, their email address, their contact address, and if it is possible, ensure to use the institutional email address where it is possible. It's always preferred and it's more trusted than other kinds of address from Gmail or Yahoo Mail and the likes. This is where it is available. To conclude, it is possible that the schools may also give you a sample of CV. Some universities have, samples of CV, samples of, writing samples and what contents they should have. Ensure to check if your university has this resource and adapt your CV to what they really want. And for length, the CV can go from 2 pages to infinity. But for graduate school, for example, if you are a first degree holder, you should try and fit your CV into a single page if you're a first degree holder, except if you've had so much experiences, so much publications or conferences or work experiences, research experiences that cannot fit into a page. But whatever you do for graduate school application, master's, PhD application, please ensure to keep your CV within a maximum of 2 pages. There are thousands, or let me say hundreds of applications that the graduate committee, selection committee has to review, and the CV is a crucial part of it. The most impression will be made on the first page. The most impression, the strongest of impression will be made on your first page. So if it is possible to compress everything in first page, of course, with legible font, you can't use size 5 or size 6 or size 8 of your font to compress your content into a single page. That will be illegible. That will amount to, not submitting anything at all if it's not readable. So using a standard font size, probably 12 minimum of clear fonts like Arial or Times New Roman, ensure to capture your CV within 1 to 2 pages. And that will be all for this video. I hope you found this content helpful, and I invite you to subscribe for more similar helpful content and information on scholarship. Uh, Click the thumbs up button and comment underneath if I've missed anything out of my listings of the components of academic CV. If there are further questions, feel free to contact me. I'll be in the comments reading and responding. Once again, thank you for viewing and see you in the next video. Bye. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and are yet to subscribe, please click on the subscribe button so that you'll be up to date with my latest videos when they are posted. And for my consistent returning viewers, I say thank you for following and for viewing these videos, for liking, for sharing, for interacting and commenting with my previous videos. Thank you very much. In this video, I'll be talking about the statement of purpose. And the statement of purpose is a very important document in your graduate school application abroad. And here, I'm going to show you what the statement of purpose is, how it differs from the personal statement, and also the tips on how to write a strong, a compelling statement of purpose. I hope you enjoyed this video. And again, please subscribe to this channel if you are yet to do so. And we'll get straight ahead into the video. What is a statement of purpose? SOP for short. A statement of purpose is an extension of your personal statement. What is a personal statement then? In a personal statement, your readers want to know where you are and how you got there. It is like a statement of your professional experience so far and how you have achieved these. So this is like a highlight of the professional experiences that are included or not included in your CV. It is not a repetition of your CV, but an extension of your CV, a kind of an opportunity to provide explanation of some issues you may have mentioned, or key achievements or key experiences you have captured within your CV. In another video, subsequently, very soon, I will talk about how to prepare an academic CV. Back to this video. In a personal statement, you tell the story of where you are professionally and how you got there. Now, to add to this, a statement of purpose becomes a statement, a document, a, an essay that contains where you have been, what experiences you have had, where you are currently, and the direction you are headed for the future, particularly what your career prospects are and how a particular graduate course, a particular program, enrolling in a program, taking another degree, or conducting further research, advanced research is going to take you there. So, a personal statement, differentiating clearly from a statement of purpose, does not include the future prospect, the career, direction of the applicant, of the candidate. But a statement of purpose contains the personal statement, which is what you have experienced, what experiences you have had, where you are, and where you are headed. This is what makes a statement of purpose distinct. And this is why it is vital in every graduate school application or scholarship application to show how motivated, what is your purpose and what is your direction in submitting that application. Makes it very crucial for selection committees globally to make a decision on whom to pick and who to refuse. Sadly, the length of the statement of purpose or personal statement or motivation letter, as the each university will want to call this, is sometimes specified in the application requirement of a particular program. This is why it's important to know the program you're applying, the university you're putting in for, to be able to determine what specifics are required in from you in the essays that you have to write, essay or essays that you have to write, such as the statement of purpose. So some will go to tell you how short or how long they should be, and sometimes also what specific contents they want to see as a way to guide your writing and as a way to also check your creativity, as a way to see how much you are able to adhere to instructions and to put forward your experiences in a summarized and in a strong punchy way to attract the committee for your selection. So it's good to search out this information and follow it as it applies to the specific university or course or program you are applying for. To quickly say that a lot of samples of statement of purpose, motivation letter, personal statements are available on the internet today. It is very risky to copy any of those things online and adopt as yours. You may see how they present their ideas, how they order their thoughts, and how they bring in these elements of the statement of purpose. But copying these would amount to plagiarism, which puts your application at a huge risk. Or sometimes, if this is discovered even within your program, you are likely to have your admission, your scholarship, your funding terminated, because plagiarism is a very grave offense in the world of academics. You could learn a thing or two from these samples online, but never copy them, never lift ideas from this material online, so as not to jeopardize your chances. But in the current application and even in the future, in preparing your statement of purpose, I would advise that you have a general statement of purpose which is comprehensive, which incorporates a lot of things. I'm going to tell you about the content of a standard, a compelling statement of purpose very shortly. And you can have a general statement of purpose which is comprehensive and elaborate, which you can always adapt to a specific application. Beware not to send that general statement of purpose to all applications, to all universities, all departments, or all programs you are applying for. You must do your homework well, research on each university you want to apply, what courses they have, the title of the courses, the application requirement, the university values, their mission, their professional, the experts within your course of study, your program, your selected program. These are things you must adapt within each statement of purpose SOP that you send out for all your graduate school application. This way, you have a general one to work with, yet with each application, you adapt, this statement of purpose to reflect the unique features of the university, the program that you are applying to make it unique as the university. This is a very important tip to keep in mind as we proceed. The components of an SOP. There are three major components that must be clearly and consistently captured in any winning SOP. Number one is your background. Number two is your objectives. And number three is why the university. Number one, your background. What are the experiences you had that shaped your ambition to undertake studies in this particular field? Number two, your objective. What are your professional objectives? What are your career objectives? And how is enrolling in this program related or essential in achieving or attaining this professional or career objective? Number three, why this university? Why not the other university? Why this course? Why not the other course? How is it critical in achieving your objectives and in fulfilling the ambition that your background has shaped you to aspire to? And these are the basic elements in any statement of purpose. Now, I give some specific tips on organizing your statement of purpose. Continue watching. And please, if you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe to this video, to this channel. In the first paragraph, it is essential to introduce yourself in a very unique manner, demonstrating your passion for this field. In the second paragraph, you should give a very brief story, 3 or 4 line story, 3 or 4 line paragraph, telling about your background, your experiences, and the things that have shaped your ambition, your desire to undertake a study in that particular field. Paragraph 3, you should talk about your academic background, the courses you may have taken, possibly with the grades in those courses, and the conferences you have attended, the professors who have taught you, who you have learned from, or experts you have been mentored by, as a way of reflecting or showing how much of academic interest, how much of academic concepts you may have acquired, in your previous education or practice of your course. And if you have made publications or unique professional accomplishments or conference attendance and presentations, it is also good to mention 1 or 2 captivating ones in your third paragraph. This way, you're building on your previous experiences in a way that is chronological, talking about your background, experiences, and motivation, and talking about the efforts you have put in academically and professionally to get to where you are. And then you are gradually building up. You're building up your storyline in a way that is really interesting, with content that will induce the reader to see what is in the next paragraph, what is in the next sentence, and what is in the next line. In the next paragraph, now you have talked about your background, and then what motivates you, what drives you to undertake this course of study, this research area, and what academic experiences, professional experiences you had. You won't just end here. You have to incorporate other activities like co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities in your field of interest. If you have undertaken some volunteering, some community services, leadership roles you have, taken up in the past, you need to capture this briefly in another paragraph to show that you are not just a one-sided academic person, but you're also engaged in community service and interaction and networking and volunteering activity, which is very important. Now, after this, I would suggest also that if you have a course, to make further explanation, for example, some people back in Africa, they have to put up personal work, individual work, work after school as a way of taking care of themselves, and this reduces the amount of study time, personal study time that they have, and makes some persons graduate with some poor grades, or even some other unique circumstances that may have happened in your family or to you as a person that shows that's inhibited or impeded in your academic achievements. You could find a way to fit this in. This is optional, it's not compulsory, it's not mandatory. But if there is such a strong reason why something, about something that had, come in the way of your academic achievement, is good to mention it here in the statement of purpose. Then, as a way of closure, you should be able to provide very strong, relatable reasons why you are choosing this graduate school, why you're choosing this university, and why you are applying, to this specific course, this specific department beyond your academic background, and then your previous experiences or the things that have shaped your interest. What else from the university draws you, attracts you to it, to want to study there? Could there be professors who are there, one or two professors who are undertaking research in your preferred field of study, or your research interest, coincides or matches with theirs? It is a time to mention it. And if you have also contacted them and they gave you consent to, apply, or they advised you to apply, it's also a good time to mention it. And if there are cultural attraction to that particular city where the university is cited, this is also a time, to bring it in before you finally give a punch line of, closing sentence to close the statement of purpose. Remember how I have mentioned this? You start with the introduction, a catchy introduction of yourself and your passion for the course, and then you talk about the experiences that have shaped your ambition to take up further studies in that particular course. And then you now talk about your academic and professional experiences and how they would contribute to your success in that chosen course. And then if there are co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities you have undertaken, leadership experiences, volunteership that you have undertaken in the previous years, or currently doing or currently implementing, it is good to capture them. And if there are explanations you need to make about your poor grades in course A, B, C, or your graduating CGPA, it's also good to mention and capture these, and then close with a paragraph talking about the unique features of this university. Not just that this university is a top ranking university, that's a generic one, but what attracts you to that course of study, what attracts you to that program in that university. You identify this and highlight it, towards the closing, and then you give a punchline to close your statement of purpose. I will present you 10 tips that will be very useful as you capture, this, as you follow up on this to produce your statement of purpose. Each of us is unique. We're all unique, and we have very unique features that differentiates us from one another, and so are our experiences. And it is necessary for each candidate to, number one, choose the personal qualities that they want to present, they want to show forth, they want to exhibit in their statement of purpose. You may want to exhibit your passion about that chosen cause. You may want to show the intelligence, that you possess and your ability to graduate with excellent grades, or ability to study in an international setting, or your ability to, your prospects of expanding cooperation between that university and other universities where you're coming from, or the preparations you have made in your previous studies and what experiences you've had that prepares you for these current studies, and all of this. You must think about your personal qualities and how you're going to present this in your SOP to make your unique story. And I keep talking about story because the SOP is not a repetition of your CV, your curriculum vitae, which is a separate document on its own. It is rather an extension or selected highlights of key events, key issues, and key achievements in that CV that makes you want to be the person who is chosen by the selection committee. And you present this in a story format. So you adopt stories to talk about, statements from your CV, which you include in your SOP. In your statement of purpose, it is good to adopt stories. So I keep talking about stories all the time because this is how to make this statement of purpose attractive and inductive to the reader to want to read the next line, the next paragraph, the next statement, and the reader finds himself, reading up everything if this is properly presented. And so you're talking about yourself, you're talking about how you came about this, passion to read this course, to undertake research in this course. It can be something that is touching, it can be something that is, very, very personal, but you make it that which is relevant to the application, to the course that you are about, to apply for. So you adopt storytelling approach in writing your statement of purpose. And this must be very brief per point, very brief per point. You have a story to tell. For example, when I was writing one of my SOPs in the past, I talked of how I could turn problems to prospects because I needed some set of data at a very small level for my research in my master's degree, and I couldn't find it. And eventually, what I did as part of my master's degree, an extension, a research extension within that program, was to develop a model to predict such kind of data from, what I eventually collected in the field. And this way, you're able to prove I could tell this story in 3 lines to show that I am someone who transforms problem to prospects. And this is just a good example of how to do this. And don't try to fabricate stories. Don't try to force in stories or steal other people's stories. You have your unique stories, and those stories are very important and very, very unique to you, and are important to be heard in convincing the selection committee that you are the right candidate for that position. So number one, choose the personal qualities you want to present in your SOP. And then number two, adopt storytelling method in writing your SOP. Number three, do not fabricate story. This is not a creative writing essay, but is an essay that shows who you are, where you have been, what you have been through, and how these things have shaped your desire, your ambition to pick up, to select this specific course of study for further education. Now, number four, apply measurable quantities in your SOP. As you tell your story, these stories, some of them have quantitative indicators. For example, if you are mentoring, if you are mentoring students or you have taught students in the past, you should be able to tell how many students, approximately how many students, or how many courses you have taught, or how many hours you have spent teaching this course, or how long you have spent, teaching that course. For example, you have taught algebra to 10 students, and all of them went ahead to make distinction in algebra. This is more specific than saying, I taught students algebra in ABC school. Apply the figures to amplify the story and to make it catchy and specific. And this is necessary for the next point, which is number five, be specific. Aside from applying numbers to increase the specification of your story, it is also good to be specific in the points that you raise. You cannot just say, I love this course. I love geography. That's why I want to have a master's in geography. Well, you can love geography, but that's not enough to give you, admission to admit you into this course. That's not enough to fund you to come and read, what you love. There must be something else. There must be something specific. There must be a problem you've identified. There must be something that spurred you to want to read geography, and even at an advanced level. For example, if you're writing this for maybe doctoral studies and the like. So the why is very important, and this must be specifically presented in your statement of purpose. Very important. Number six, customize your essay and make it unique to each application. I said this before, that although you can have a general statement of purpose, for your applications, each submission should have a unique statement of purpose that is adapted to the university, to the course that you're applying it to, because each university has its own value, its own vision, culture of the location where that university is located, and other features that makes the university unique. So endeavor to do your homework and customize your essay according to the university, the program, and the course that you are applying for. Number seven is to adopt a balanced tone. A balanced tone. You should neither be too formal or too casual in your presentation. So you should think of it like how, assuming the dean of my faculty, the dean of my college, is seated before me, and I need to make this presentation, and I need to read it out from this paper. And how am I going to talk to the dean? How am I going to address the dean on telling my story? Because this is your story, it makes it not a formal presentation. It is not a research, and so it is not formal. The content you are delivering is not a formal content, so it must not be too formal, too rigid, too stiff in tone. Neither should it be too casual or playful, in approach. So you want to think of it as being in a balanced way, balancing, the super formal from the super casual, and finding somewhere in the middle ground. And number eight is what I've said before. If it is applicable to you, clear gray areas. Why did you make possibly a B grade, a C grade in the specific course in your transcript that applies to the current interest that you have, even though you say you're passionate about it? Or why you say you are a high flying student, you're very passionate, you're very ambitious, but how come your CGPA is, below excellent? These are things you should think of bringing in to your SOP, towards the end of the SOP, incorporating a line or two. It may not be too defensive. It may not be too obvious that you're trying to, bring in something, but you find a way to fit it in as to what affected your performance, because that question is going to be there. Okay, if this person says, I love algebra, I don't know why I'm talking about algebra a lot, or I love climate change, and the person, did not pass so well, did not get an excellent grade in a course that is related to climate change or algebra within his or her transcript, then it raises some doubt on the other things you are claiming to have. So there is a way to, this must be balanced in the SOP for that information to be presented. And then we're coming to close to the end of the tips I have to share with you. Number nine, check this first draft. After the first draft of your write-up, check it, edit it, proofread it, and this should be like half a day interval. You don't just write, your SOP, even if it is half a page, even if it is just one page. I'm sure you can go over it very quickly and say, okay, I've checked it. No, give it a day or two, sit on it, and then come back to it and read it with the eyes of the reader. Read it with the eyes of the assessor. In that way, you are able to tell what should be there and what should not be there. And let me quickly say that as you edit, you just write and write and write all you need to write. But when it comes to editing, You are able to filter information to what is most required. The most critical contents that must be retained are those things that should be retained. Other things that can be inferred from your CV. For example, I got this CGPA and I had this, grade. They can be gotten from your CV. It is there in your transcript. Those things are not most critical information. So you check it, and also when you check it, you edit it, you proofread it, by yourself. After some time, you also find a critical friend. Everyone has that critical friend who would put in, the effort to give a critique and say, oh, this is weak, this is not really good, this is not that fitting. Can you cut off this? Can you include this? And be sure to, get that person to have a look, and then, incorporate suggestions and, you know, their comments to improving your final version. Now, before you use that SOP for application, that is why application is not a day job, it's not a 1 week job. It's possible to do an application in a day, but that may not be the best if you have not planned for several days before, several weeks prior, several months, or even years before. Now, what must you do? The last thing I suggest, number 10 tip, is to send it to a professor in that department. A professor probably whose interest coincides, matches yours, a professor or the graduate officer. The graduate officers may be too busy, the program officers may be too busy because they get thousands of emails, but send a polite email to a professor, sharing your statement of purpose and most likely your CV and your transcript and all those things, and asking for a kind review if this statement of purpose fits, what is really attractive for admission and funding into the department. I've already made a previous video on how to get a response, how to write an effective email from a professor in my channel. Please kindly check that video and see what elements must be included in your email to ensure that you get a reply from a professor when you send them your statement of purpose for comments to help you improve that. And with this, I would say you are ready to submit a very strong statement of purpose in your next application. And I'll say that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. And please, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, I kindly ask that you click on the subscription button and become a member of my channel. I'll be happy to see you listed, and click on the notification bell so that you get an alert as soon as I post my next video. My next video would be on writing an academic CV. An academic CV is different from other kinds of CV or resumes around. And watch out for it, and it will come up very, very soon from now. Thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye.